In this video today, I am going to show you how to use Faster EFT. Faster EFT is amazing. It's a brilliant self-help tool that you can apply yourself on memories, on feelings, emotions, anything that's there, beliefs that you don't want anymore, or that you want to make a shift with, you want to make a change with, you want it to be different than it currently is. And with Faster EFT, it's a great tool to do that. And it's simple to apply. At its basic level, it is very simple to apply. Now, if you're watching this video and you know about EFT, EFT has been around for a good few years now, and there's been many scientific studies, randomized studies, and scientific data on the application of EFT on certain mental health traits. Post-traumatic stress is a big one. There's various scientific documents and various tests being done on post-traumatic stress, and also in various other fields. But you can apply it yourself. And if you know about EFT, then you will know that we use these acupressure points, which are on the face, on the body. They're all over the body. Here, some under here, some under your arm. And they all relate, these acupressure points go back to Chinese acupressure. And they relate to certain internal organs and parts of the body. And by rubbing these or tapping on these, you can stimulate that part of the body and help to heal that organ. Now with EFT, you would say certain words, such as you would focus on something, and then you would say certain words and tap on these points to help you release the negativity around whatever it is that you've just thought about or focused on. Now, Faster EFT, if you watch how we do Faster EFT, you'll notice it looks similar to EFT, but it is different, and it comes from a completely different belief system. So in EFT, the belief system is that the reason you have a problem is because there is a disruption of some kind in the energy system of your body, and that is what's causing the problem. Now, in Faster EFT teaches that the reason we have problems is because whatever goes on up here, this follows. So there's no disruption. In fact, your brain and body are actually communicating perfectly. But the difference in the belief is that we are creating our problem because we are holding on to memories from the past, we have certain things going on inside our head, and that is affecting our body, our response to things. And that is why we have the problem. So actually, rather than coming from a place of disruption, it's coming from a place of it's working absolutely perfectly. Now, I'm going to show you how to use Faster EFT. So if you've never used EFT or Faster EFT before, then this is going to be new to you. But you can follow along, and I will spend a few minutes explaining how to do it. And then what I'm going to do is make other videos on certain subjects, so you can tap along, you can follow along and help to heal yourself. So to start with Faster EFT, the same as EFT, we focus on the problem. So with Faster EFT, we focus on what it is you don't want. So it could be that I have a specific memory that I want to deal with. That memory could be a visual memory, it could be sound, it could be taste, it could be smell, or it could just be a feeling or an emotion inside your body, or even a nothingness. If you say, well, actually I feel nothing, and I don't want to feel nothing anymore, then focus on that nothingness. Or with Faster EFT can be very, very efficient at dealing with physical pain. So you focus on the pain. What we then do is rate it, usually between 1 and 10, 10 being really strong, 1 being low, very small. So in your mind, just rate it between 1 and 10. Now it doesn't matter what rating you give it, that's your choice. If you're having a problem, or you don't feel like you can actually rate it between 1 and 10, then choose a different rating system. It doesn't matter as long as you can detect how things are changing, or how things are shifting. So, for example, maybe use a percentage scale. So 100% is it's really, really bad, or this belief is completely true. And then on the other end is a small percentage, maybe 1%, and that is it's very, very tiny. So again, just rate that. Or it could be, how big is this? How big does this feel? Is it as big as the world? Is it as big as a skyscraper? Is it as big as an office block? Is it as big as a house? Big as a car? Small as a mouse? So that's how we can rate it as well. Or think of something different. But in this video, I'm going to use the scale of 1 to 10 because that's the most commonly used one. So go in, think about the problem, focus on it, and then feel it. And rate it between 1 to 10. And then with Faster EFT, this is what we do. Just follow me. So we tap here, in between your eyes, and you say, I let this go. Now tap on the side of your eye, on your temple area, and say, I let this go. Tap underneath your eye, and say, I let this go. Now just below your collarbone, which is a very soft piece here, just below the bone, and say, I let this go. Now what I want you to do is hold your wrist. Now you can squeeze it tight or give it a little squeeze, some pressure there, but if you want to squeeze it tightly, some people do because they feel, it feels good to give it some pressure. And then take a big deep breath in, all the way. As far as you can, hold it in for a second and then breathe out. And then say peace. Now I do give my clients other words to say. Faster EFT teaches the word peace. Say peace at the end. I give my clients a choice of saying peace, release or relax. And they choose one or the other. But peace is by far the most commonly chosen term. So now what I want you to do is refocus on the thing you were thinking about. If a new memory comes to mind, then write it down. But stay with the original memory, the one you just did. It's important, it's very, very important to do this, that we stay with the same memory. Okay, now go back to that, rate it. Is there any noticeable differences? Focus on anything that's different than it was before. It could be the picture, it could be the sound, it could be the smell, it could be the taste, it could be the colour in the picture, it could be how clear the picture is, it could be the physical sensation. What we're really looking for is the physical sensation to get less and less and less. So the emotion to it, the feelings towards it, what's it like? Is it different? Now if it's not different, that's fine. It's absolutely okay for it to be the same as it was before. I'm confident that it will change, that things will be different. Sometimes it takes a few times to get things to start moving. So just focus on it, rate it between 1 and 10, and then we're going to go again. So after you've focused on it, start tapping here and say, I let this go. I let this go. I let this go. It's safe to let this go. Hold your wrist, squeeze again, take a deep breath. And then breathe out. And as you breathe out, notice any changes, any differences. And say peace. Now in this video I'm going to use the word peace. As I say, if you want to use the word release or relax, use that instead. But I'm going to use the word peace because that's what we're taught in Faster EFT. And now we go back to it again. Now, this is what you do. You keep repeating this. Okay, so you go back to it, you measure it, you judge it. Is there anything different? Always, every time, looking for, is anything different than what's before? Or focus on what is different. Now, basically, using Faster EFT for yourself, to keep it simple to start off with, just use the words, I let this go, I let this go, or I set this free. Now, Faster EFT teaches, I let this go, but again, this is something that I've added in over time. I say to my clients, do you like the words, I set this free? Because actually, in some people's minds, that is actually a nicer way of doing it. They prefer to use it. But I usually say to them, what do you like? Do you like both of them, or do you prefer one? And quite often, people will choose one of them. So, as a practitioner in Faster EFT, we use all kinds of different language and terminology and words, and we will listen to the client and use the client's words as well as let this go, set this free, and other things. But when you're learning to deal with your own issues and things that you feel inside of you and things that are restricting your life and bothering you and everything else, the simplest things can sometimes sound complicated. And also our brain has got a great way of saying, actually, you know what, it's fearful of dealing with this, therefore I'm going to make it sound confusing, seem confusing, and you're going to keep forgetting it. So that's sometimes what happens. But this is why I did this video. So it's simple for you to remember, you can watch it again. So, again, notice this, go back to the same memory, the original memory. The original thought, the feelings, sensations, notice what's different. Okay? And then follow me and say, I let this go. Now as we tap, focus on your fingers. Transfer the thoughts from the memory, from the feelings, to your fingers. Okay? So you momentarily focus on something different. I let this go. And repeat, I let this go. I'm safe. It's safe to let this go. Hold your wrist, take a deep breath. And say peace. Now, you might notice at the end I do say, I'm safe, or it's safe to let this go, or it's safe to set this free. The word safe is really good because you're telling yourself that you are safe. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing the best for me, and I'm learning to make peace and deal with all this, whatever this is that rages on inside of me, whether it's pain, whether it's emotions, feelings, thoughts, whatever. So you're just giving yourself a command, a reinforcement that you are safe. So I like that at the end. So again, focus on the problem, focus on whatever it is you were thinking about. The same one, again, if anything comes to mind, write it down. Focus on it, and then when you're ready, right now, start tapping. Say, I let this go. I set this free. I set this free. I let this go. I let this go. It's safe to let this go. And take a deep breath. And peace. And that's it. With Faster EFT, the core to everything, and although this is simple, so many people really don't get it for a while. And in fact, I didn't, because it was so simple. But the core is, how do you know it's true? How do you know you have a problem? So you focus on, well, you know, this just makes me feel like this. Well, how do you know it makes you feel like that? Well, because I can feel it. Right, then focus on what it is, how you know it's a problem. So I know this belief is true because of this memory, or because of what my dad told me or my mum told me, or this happened. So therefore it must be true. Focus on that and how it makes you feel, the physical response in the body, and then start tapping on that. And again, just the process, let it go, set it free. It's safe to do this. It's safe to set this free. It's safe to let this go. Hold your wrist, deep breath, all the way. Remember when you breathe as far as you can, all the way. Get that oxygen in your lungs. Notice what it's like to feel alive with that breath. And then say peace. And notice anything different. That's how to use Faster EFT. Faster EFT at its basic level. That is the process, but of course, as I say, as practitioners, we go more in depth with people, we listen to their words, and we take things from different angles. So if you're finding that something's not moving, something's not shifting, and you really want it to shift and it's not going somewhere, then it might be a good idea to communicate with myself maybe, come and see me. I give private sessions over Skype or in person, or over the internet in some way if you don't use Skype, or even telephone, or maybe find someone else that can help you. But it's a good idea if something isn't shifting to get assistance, because when you're working with someone else, they can look at things from angles. They will pick up on certain words that you're using. A trained practitioner, somebody who's trained and somebody who's working with other people, can look at... Sorry, I had an interruption there. But I can't remember where I was now. But focus on it. How do you know it's true? It's that feeling, it's that emotion, it's that sensation, whatever it is. If you're not getting a shift in some way, find someone, contact me, email me, ring me, message me, come to my website, it's in the link, and work with me. And, we can start looking at things from different angles and get things shifting. So, have a great day, have a great evening, and, focus on all the good things in your life. Notice how good it is. Notice there are certain things which you can be. And you know what? The things that you're not, the things that are bogging you down, the things that are causing you to feel this way, causing you to feel whatever, apply this on them and see what happens. See you soon.